And let's see how much more crap I can. Let's see how much more crap I can script now. I go to hit the volume button on something and I turn everything off.
It happens.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting good at breaking things. I don't understand how we're stuck in such a paradigm to where if you're a Republican, you have to be for Trump. If you're a Democrat, you have to be for. I don't know what they're for anymore. Well, it's a real issue because the problem is somebody said this, ironically, on MSNBC is the Democratic Party has moved so far left you don't know where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like if they keep moving left, they're gonna leave people behind. I mean, they've done that to a lot of people. It's just,
The problem is the Republican Party is doing the same thing. They're moving. I don't even want to say farther and farther right because somehow on this distorted political spectrum, the farther right you go, the more fascist it becomes, which I don't think is true.
but it is becoming more authoritarian.
Authoritarian, yeah. I think it's become more. I honestly think it's becoming more theocratic. It's just not a religious theocracy.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, it's a theory of make America great again. To what?
Okay.
Like that is that. People don't want to admit this, but make America great again. And I'm not saying the entire thing's bad. I'm not saying the entire thing's flawed. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, are there points in which I agree with Donald Trump on? Yes. Are there points in which I agree with Joe Biden on? No, not really. Because I'm not sure Joe Biden knows his own points.
Yeah.
And Harris is the most authoritarian thing
Yeah.
in this entire debacle. The problem you're running into is, well, if you're not one of us, then you're with them.
Yeah.
And I don't care what side you want to get on. Like it's.
Well, they both do that. I mean,
they both do that, and the problem is you have literally given, and this is where I know I'm going to get censored on like 5 different platforms already. You've gotten to the point where you've given government so much power that you have to be in control of it, or you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. Which is the sign that that's the sign that things are not where they should be.
The problem actually comes down to this. The government has gotten, and I'm going to try and get somebody on this show. Try. Because there was somebody that said, somebody made a comment that I should have a certain person on the show, and I agree. It just might have to wait a minute. There's one.
Is that number one?
Yeah, it's number one. And I'm drinking coffee. But you've got to this point of you've given government so much power and so much authority and so much a religious aspect that you have to be in control of it because this has become a 330 million person Sunday school class.
Yeah.
And God forbid you're the Baptist and the Methodist Sunday school class.
Well, so in political science they talk about cult of personality, and usually that's centered around one person. They talk about Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler,
Mussolini.
A little bit with Mussolini, although it's not as strong there. Although you can make a case for it. Mao Zedong.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing that here, but it's not centered around one person because we don't have one person in office.
It's not centered around a person. It's centered around we're not them.
Yeah. It's based around the party.
It's based, and I said that to somebody yesterday. It's not based around a person. It's based around a party system. And, as much as I disagree with some of his tactics, Washington was correct when he said the party system is what will kill this country.
Yeah.
And you're damn near there.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. See, this is the dumb part. I'm a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's going to be, well, are you really? You're right. I voted for a bunch of libertarians. But that also turns into, and I've said this on the show how many times, who would I vote for tomorrow for President of the United States? Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
I would vote for Tulsi Gabbard tomorrow, and I'm a Republican.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a lot of libertarians say that too.
This is one of those, But you say that around a lot of MAGA people,
Yeah.
holy crap, you're getting shunned. And the same is true for the other side of you. A guy got executed in Portland
Yeah.
for wearing a Trump hat. And I'm going to come out and say this. Everybody's making jokes on Facebook and everybody's making jokes on all these social media platforms about, so what am I supposed to wear to my first Civil War? When does it start? What are the uniforms? It started November 4th. Because I do not believe, I don't give a shit who takes the oath of office. There was not fraud and cheating and scandal at minimum involved in anything that happens.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Tulsi Gabbard. I've seen a lot of libertarians on, especially on Twitter, because libertarians are really active on Twitter right now. That's a good thing. But I see a lot of libertarians say, "Oh, if the Democrats had, made Tulsi Gabbard their nominee, they may have gotten their vote." And I see a lot of MAGA people, Trump supporters, they come on and say, "Oh, she's just a socialist, blah blah blah."
She's really not.
She isn't really. I mean,
Granted, everybody says that because she stepped down from the DNC at 16 to poll her to endorse Bernie Sanders instead of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, which is exactly what Republicans did for Trump originally.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a few stalwart supporters of Trump, but a lot of them were just there because it wasn't Hillary.
This is the other thing too, and I will say this: Glenn Beck aggravates the hell out of me some days. He really does.
Yeah.
But Glenn Beck was a never Trumper until a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Well, Rand Paul was too. But
this goes back to, it does not matter who is on the steps of the Capitol on January 20th. Half of the country is going to believe it's an illegitimate president.
Yeah.
And people can say, "Oh, well, they did the same thing with Barack Obama. They did the same thing with Donald Trump." No, this is different. This is different, and you have a lot of people. I mean, a lot. The problem is you've had 4 years of, "He's not my president. He's not my president," and now it's the whole, "Well, we live through Trump. You can live through Biden."
Yeah.
This is different. Because you've heard for 4 years everybody on the left, well, he got influenced by Russia and yada yada yada. And I honestly believe in 2016 he won hands down without any influence at all. I think he just won.
Well, the question in 2016 was not. There was a question of legitimacy, but it wasn't voter fraud. It was the Electoral College, because Trump won lost the popular vote
And won the Electoral College. And the problem you're going to run into this time is
we don't even know.
It's too close.
Well, yeah, but we know there's voter fraud.
I'm telling
Maybe
you,
on
you go on
both
social
sides.
media, like, I'm not kidding, you go on social media and you have a lot of people say, "I have not seen a substantiated claim or any substantial evidence that there is any voter fraud."
I saw one the other day. Somebody, have you seen that video? I think I
All
told
the
you about it.
affidavits.
No, it's a guy that goes into the Michigan voter registry and he finds a guy that was born. Well, he finds a guy that was born in 1902, and then he goes over and says, "Has this person requested a ballot?" Yes.
And then he finds a death certificate.
He goes into the Social Security Index and finds a death certificate for that person. They died in 1984.
And that's the problem. But nobody wants to hear that. And Michigan, I want to say it was Michigan, even came out and said, "Well, it's just a mix-up because they have the same name as their parent. Like if they were a junior or something." And it's like, okay. Try not to screw that up again. But you've got this moment where you're legitimately, and I agree with you. I think there's rampant voter fraud. The problem is, I think you could, and a lot of MAGA people don't want to hear this, I think you could work both sides of it. I take that back. Let me rephrase that. I think there is voter fraud on one side and voter suppression on the other.
Okay, yeah, I might believe that.
Because I think if there was voter fraud on the Republican side, this would have been a landslide.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, the Democratic Party's notorious for voter fraud. They have been for 15 years.
Yeah, everybody knows it. Well, if you don't think it happens, you're just delusional.
Well, how many years have we heard well, this will be the first year my grandpa voted Democrat and he died last year. Like, how many years have you heard that joke where this has happened on local, and state elections, etc., where dead people vote for Democrats, and now it's happened on a massive scale that President of the United States, and if the Supreme Court follows the law, I'm going to say this right here now, if they follow the law, Pennsylvania is going to change, Michigan will probably change, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's going to be a lot of issues in Arizona and Nevada, but you take two out of any of those states, and one, it's either nobody gets to 270, or two, Trump gets to 270 and it overturns the election. And Karl Rove coming out and putting out a piece of the election's not going to be overturned. Trump needs to help a peaceful transition of power. I don't believe that.
You don't believe that? What do you
One,
mean?
I don't believe at the current moment. I don't believe it's going to be overturned unless somebody gets greased. Two, I don't believe it's going to be a peaceful transition of power.
Yeah. Regardless of who it is.
And I will tell you one major reason for that. Defense Secretary.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because, and I'm going to say this, and this is legal, if Trump has any inkling that a foreign power was involved in voter fraud, he has the right under the National Defense Authorization Act that Barack Obama signed to activate emergency powers.
Yeah.
And that is a whole different cluster that nobody wants to talk about. And the thing about it is, I can see him doing it. I'm serious. I can see it. I can see it happening. And you have come to a moment in time where for the most of the country, okay, if you're on the coast, I get it. But not every state that, this has to all shake out because I don't believe Pennsylvania honestly went blue. I don't believe Michigan honestly went blue. I don't believe Wisconsin honestly went blue. And Nevada's 50-50. Arizona, I can actually believe. But what just comes down to is it's the Northeast and the West Coast. Let them go have their own confederation of states. Let them go be their own thing. And we'll move the capital to, Iowa. I don't. Give me a better option. Give me a better option that makes sense. Because right now, it no longer matters who wins.
Yeah. So you don't think Trump is stepping down one way or the other?
I don't know. I'm not ready to go that far yet.
Okay.
I'm not ready to go that far yet.
Okay.
I can see the avenues in which it can be possible. Very easy.
Just curious.
I honestly think the Supreme Court overturns it.
I think they do too. Which would mean Trump isn't leaving because why would he? I mean, if you go to the Supreme Court and you win, you just more or less won the election. So.
Well, it's like I said on a previous episode. I think I said it. What people don't understand about the House of Representatives voting if nobody gets to 270 is they don't vote as individual members, they vote as state delegations.
Right.
Go look up how many red states there are, and go look up how many blue states there are.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump will be president of the United States again. Nobody understands that.
Yeah.
Well, if it goes to the House, Pelosi will just... And this is the irony over all of it. If Pelosi was Speaker, well, she will be. If Pelosi's Speaker and this goes to the House, Pelosi will have to preside over the re-election of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Which, if she can form together a sentence through all the Grey Goose that she drinks before that, will blow my mind. I don't see a way. The other side of this is Trump goes, okay, I lost, goes peacefully into the night, and then you have a totally uncollared, unchained Donald Trump January 21st, and God help everybody's soul. Because he will be the driving force behind the Republican Party until the day he dies.
Yeah.
Trump TV, Fox News lost 20 million viewers last week.
Really?
Yes. Facebook's lost somewhere around 5 to 10. who deleted accounts, not
Yes. Yeah.
just added Parler, added MeWe, or added Rumble, have deleted accounts.
Well, and I saw, I think it was last month, over the last quarter, and this is just what the numbers have already been established as. They lost, I think, somewhere around 1%,
Yeah, it's
and that was before this exodus to wherever they're going.
and there's a lot of other options out there that nobody knew about until this.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you want to talk about the death of Fox News?
What was it on Fox News that got
They called
that?
Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Fox News called Arizona with 30% in,
Yeah.
or 30% or less in.
Yeah.
I want to say when they actually called it, it was like 13%.
Okay.
Fox News was the reason Arizona went blue to begin with. And now it's that whole idea of going. Everybody else said it's too close to call, too close to call, too close to call. Fox News is like, yep, Arizona we project going to Biden. They didn't call Texas. They didn't call Georgia. They didn't. I mean, granted, Georgia got actually pretty close if they're all real and legal. And I don't want to steal a line from their campaign, but count every legal vote.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're advocating for counting
Every
illegal
vote.
votes, we need to have a different conversation about what your goal is here.
Well, and somebody we both mutually know has been all ecstatic because Biden won. Here's the thing, nobody's won yet.
Yeah. I will say the Trump supporters have it right. I don't think it's over yet.
I think it's far from over.
Yeah.
I legitimately think it's far from over. I don't think this is going to be. I mean, Gore was president for 37 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
President-elect.
Yeah.
He will. I mean, he really was. Go back and look. Al Gore was
Oh, yeah.
president-elect for 37 days.
Yeah, you've seen I think I sent it to you, the newspaper article from 2000. It's several days after the election of President Gore.
Well,
I mean,
the most famous one is
the Tribune. What's the Tribune?
no,
What are
I'm
you
talking
talking
about
about?
40s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it the Morning Tribune?
Published. Who was the?
Somebody beats Truman
I want to say Truman. Yeah.
because Truman's holding the paper.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to look this up.
It was like it was somebody beats Truman, and Truman won in a landslide.
Yeah.
Like you would come to a point in life in the United States of America where we have two drastically different visions for the future, which isn't a bad thing. If they want to go their way, everybody else wants to go their way. And the irony is, Dewey beats Truman.
Are you like psychic? Because I just found that.
No, I just hit it. It hit me.
I hate when you do that.
Sorry, it just.
Like I had just inhaled to say the words, and you.
I saw him holding the paper in my head. Like
I hate you so much.
I am psychic. Did you not know this? We called Kamala Harris. Yeah. Dewey defeats Truman, and Truman won in a landslide.
That picture, Truman's just like, he's so happy.
But why can we not just? And people don't want to talk about this. Well, we can't divide. We're a united nation. No, we're so divided. Like in all reality, we're about 7 different nations, but you could get away with making us 2 or 3. And I can make a real good argument that we're about 20 different nation states.
I'm of the opinion the more the merrier. The more local, the better.
Locals, no, not local. Of course, I'm jaded when I say this. So never mind. The more dual.
Well, yeah, those are the same thing for me.
I have a major metropolitan city 45 minutes away from me.
That's not my problem. You can move. You did move. You moved closer to it. What's wrong with you?
I have more land.
Yeah, now.
Exactly. 6 city lots to like 6 quarter sections. Like, I think what do you do?
Whatever.
Land matters.
So three different nations. That's what you're going to do.
I could actually think you can make it into 2. I just don't know how you were gonna. They're the problem is one would have to travel through the other. Like
You just want to cut the sides off.
well, my point is, there's an argument to be made that says, hey, the West Coast and the Northeast could be one nation.
Yeah.
How is the West Coast and Northeast supposed to? You know what I'm saying? Like a nation has to connect.
The British had an empire for.
The British did not have an empire. The British had claim to an empire.
Well, I mean, you can navigate that.
No, you can't. There was more like localized government in the British Empire than there's ever been in the American Empire.
Hey, it's an experiment.
It's done. It's run its course. It's done. Are you ever legitimately going to believe an election is legitimate ever? I just said legitimate twice, 3 times. Ever again? Seriously?
Well, no, but I didn't believe that before. So.
Yeah, but it's never been this blatant. I don't think it's been this. At least not for President of the United States. It's never been this blatant.
It's never been this visible.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. I can see that argument. What?
I'm gonna have to send you that meme.
Oh god. Anyway, I think it's legitimately time, and the person I'm gonna try to get on the show knows way more about this, and I'm literally gonna be like, "This is so and so, and this is the episode. Good day," and I'm gonna just sit and listen.
Yeah, I've talked to him about this issue, and he had a complete plan a few years ago. Oklahoma had a governor's race. He had a complete plan on how this should work if a certain person won, and it didn't. So, unfortunate. But
Did they get like? I don't think they got 5%.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I know I voted for him.
But the guy's smart. He's worked through this several times.
He's not smart. He's brilliant.
Yes.
You're smart. You're not on that level yet.
Thanks.
You're just.
But he's worked in Washington, so he knows how all of this works.
Well, and that's the other thing too is, if you do not understand how Washington works,
Yeah.
you don't get it.
Yeah.
And all the 50 governors out there, how would you like to be president of your state?
Yeah.
There you go. Ta-da, more power, bigger title. Yada, yada, yada. I don't know how to sell this to people outside of
Well,
you have. This is the only option that does not end in bloodshed and an absolute cluster.
I've tried to sell this to Republicans for years. Let California go. You will never lose another presidential election. You cut out those, what is it, 55?
Yeah.
55 electoral votes. You will never lose another election. I mean, how do you lose that? If California's not in the picture, how do you lose that? I don't understand. And if you're guaranteed a presidential election for the next 100 years, well, what are you waiting for?
The problem becomes, though, it's politics, because you have to lose to raise money.
Yeah.
You have to lose to raise money.
So Republicans would rather lose, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, because nobody's a drive to win anything anymore. If there's one thing Donald Trump did for Republicans is give them their balls back and try and win something. Sorry, not sorry. They raised more money in 8 years of Barack Obama to try and make Jeb Bush president than I've ever seen in my entire freaking life, and he couldn't form together a sentence. Come on, clap for me.
Please clap. Are we live on Facebook?
Yeah, we're live on something. I'm running into this moment of time of going, I do not see a way out of this in the long term. And I'm not saying January 21st, it's going to be full on. I'm saying you let a slow burn, because if Trump loses, there will be a slow burn for years.
Yeah.
We get cheated. We got cheated. We got cheated. And all you need is something to ignite that slow burn that turns everything. Because I think I said this to you off air, but I believe it. If Donald Trump put on Facebook right now, I need every patriot I need all the patriots to come defend the White House.
Yeah.
Use your First Amendment and Second Amendment. Come defend the White House right now. There would be millions in D.C.
Yeah. Whether or not Donald Trump is entitled to be president.
I guess. And I mean, I don't think he would do that, but the irony is, he tweeted that or put it on Facebook, or probably his Facebook and Twitter. Might be one time I agree with him, would take it down. But still, you go on national news, like,
All he has to do is get on Fox. And Fox would report it, you know they would.
you wouldn't even have to get on. Well, yeah, he could call Hannity and be like, "I'm coming on."
What were you going to tell the president no? I mean,
I think MSNBC would.
they would until somebody else reported it, like Fox.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about the news. If you're not reporting it and everybody else is, what are you doing?
They'd have to spin it though.
Well, even if they spin it, Donald Trump is going to be on the TV saying that.
Yeah.
And people are going to see that. So,
I don't know.
and with our luck, he'll probably do that now that we've said it. 'Cause-
No, I don't. That's even too ballsy for Donald Trump.
I don't know. We'll see.
I can tell you what every cop in the Washington D.C. metropolitan area is going to do. Go home.
Yeah.
If you knew you had that kind of, I don't want to say opposing force, because it's really not. It's not really an op force. It's just a force. Like if you had that kind of force with that kind of firepower, doesn't matter if they're good or not. 5-1 on a good day.
Yeah.
Coming at you. And here's the thing: if that happened, it'd be like Sherman marching to Atlanta. I'm not kidding. They would torch everything blue along the way.
I really don't like talking about this.
Tell me I'm wrong though.
I don't think you're wrong. I just don't want to think about it.
Why? You can defend them all in one more semester.
They're not going to get arrested.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think. Okay, even hypothetically speaking, if peaceful transition of power, Joe Biden takes over, something happens, and Donald Trump comes on Trump TV and says, "Go take back our country," and you get a mob rule that is marching, driving, boating. I don't give a shit. Pick your mode of transportation. Flying. Granted, flying is the one thing that can probably stop. Unless somebody has an F-16 or F-22 in their garage. But I mean, outside of, unless they started going like,
Well, the other thing is, who's going to stop them?
I mean, if Biden was in the White House, the military.
If Biden's in the White House.
If it happens before then, I don't know. Because the president has the power to tell the military to stand down.
Well, I mean, if Donald Trump does that a week before inauguration,
Oh my God, it's a different world.
yeah.
Like it's
And the fact that we even have to talk about this is ridiculous.
the country's over. Like the country as you know it is over. Because the flip side of that becomes if Joe Biden or Harris got in there and called Antifa to come defend DC, the same thing would happen.
Yeah.
Like if you call the militias to come defend DC, the same thing would happen. It's not like we're talking about, oh, one side will do it and the other side won't do it. No, they will both do it. They both have the manpower, and honestly, both sides have firepower to do it.
We're going to talk about a nightmare. They both do it at the same time.
That's not a nightmare. That's Antietam. That's Antietam. Because if one of them does it, the other's going to hop back up and it'll be the same thing.
Yeah.
If one of them does it, if one of them calls on their supporters to come defend the people's house or take back the country, the other side is going to use the opposite verbiage. You've got your war. The most peaceful thing to do to avoid an all-out and I'll say this too: most peaceful thing to do to avoid other countries' involvement and the United Nations involvement, etc., etc. Just let us split up.
Yeah.
Nobody has to die in a divorce. And I don't know the logistics of that. I mean, I said it before. I'm going to try and get somebody on the show. Problem is doing it quickly because of technical restrictions. I'm going to try and get somebody on the show that's, hey, this can be done, and it can be done in such a way to where people don't have to die.
Yeah. And that's been his thing for the last couple of years is peaceful.
Peaceful.
Do it peacefully.
And that's where we come to an impasse. Let California go. Let Washington go. Let Oregon. Let them go live their lives, man. Oregon's going to split into 2 states. Washington's going to split into 2 states. California's going to split into 3. And if Republicans really want to think about it, they split Texas into 5 about 20 years ago. Because they still can, because it's in their charter. Legally, Texas can split into 5 more states.
Yeah. A lot of people think they reserve the right to secede. That's not actually what they reserve. They reserve the right to split into different states.
And they still could.
Yeah.
Like, if Texas was, I mean, it's just one of those, if Republicans were thinking, but you can't fundraise when you're winning. Donald Trump is the exception to that. If he's fundraising while he was winning and it was working.
Yeah.
So you've come to an impasse in this country where just let's go our separate ways. Let's call it good. Let's just say it didn't work out.
You think Donald Trump runs in 2024?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you're assuming he doesn't retain power.
This is true. This is very true.
I think Don Jr. runs in 2024.
I'm just thinking it would be a great fundraising effort, if Donald Trump lost this election and then spent 4 years campaigning for 2024.
I agree. I don't think there's the self-control within either side to not go at the other one's throat, no matter who gets inaugurated.
Yeah.
There's not. It's gone. When people are getting shot for in MAGA hats and people are getting, drugged down the street. I mean, and it's guilty on both sides. I'm not saying one side's better than the other. Yeah. It's guilty on both sides. At this point, it's people on both sides are killing the other side, quote unquote, for no reason other than who they supported for an office. This is we fought a war about secession. Remember that? You think we fought one? We fought one that had black powder rifles and bayonets, and the most deadly gun on the battlefield was a 10-pound cannon. With great shot in it. Like you haven't seen anything yet. Even pump shotguns. And I'm not talking AR-15s, SKSs, AK-47s. I'm not even talking about stuff that is not only readily available but highly prevalent in the United States of America. Not to mention automatic weapons that are quote-unquote illegal. Tell that to Southside, the mini metro. Like Southside LA, good luck. There's Uzis floating around everywhere. But to say we fought a war over this has been decided. You haven't seen anything yet if this goes violent. Because the weapons of war in 1861 compared to the weapons of war now, that's not even the same. And I think the two of us can sit here and agree that one thing we're trying to avoid no matter what is innocent people dying for no other reason than political backlash. It's politics. It's a different vision and a different way to do things, and it is no different than going and you understand, you will agree and to the statement of how much organized religion aggravates me, because I swear to God, every time they turn around, they're going to war with each other over history. Like throughout the history of the world, organized religions just decide, we don't like you, you believe in a different God, we're going to try and come kill you to send you to ours. However, that is stupid. Like that drives me insane. It's dumb. You know, non-aggression principle. If you don't get attacked, don't run crusades attacking people. If you don't agree with somebody's religion, don't send suicide bombers in to try and kill them. I don't get it. Like that drives me nuts. It always has. It always will. The other side of that is the dumber thing to that is, let's go to war over a political party when we could all just look up and say, you know what, something not working out. Hey Joe, we're gonna split up, and you're gonna be president over the number one economy in the world according to GDP, and Trump's gonna be president of the number three economy in the world according to GDP. It's not like we're losing a bunch of spots.
Really sad part is neither one of them would go for that.
No, it's all or nothing. As like I said, it does not matter who takes that oath of office January 20th. You have started a slow burn that I don't see undone unless we agree to disagree and go our separate ways and just break up. And one of our mutual friends said it, you know, I made a comment about secession and splitting up the other day on Facebook, and somebody made a comment about that would just start a war, yada yada. And they made the comment that stuck with me. Nobody has to die in a divorce. People get divorced across this country all the time, no matter what. Nobody has to die in a divorce.
Yeah.
Granted, would there probably be some bloodshed? Yes. Would it be small and controlled? Probably. Versus what you're facing now is two totally different ideologies, two totally different mindsets, two totally different visions for the future of this country. And you could split up and literally be competing for the top two spots in GDP in the entire world, and both have economies where you can go put your political philosophy into practice and see who wins. And it's done.
Well, then people use the violence comment like that's a winning argument. We have violence now. Like, if you've been watching the news,
80% of homicides are gang violence. You know what that is? I'm just saying, 80% of homicides are gang violence.
Well, and I mean, Portland is burning right now.
Yeah, Portland's on fire.
Like,
Portland's a war zone.
How much more violence do we need before it's just a trade-off? Like, what?
I told you this the other day, and I'm not afraid to say it here. The only thing that's keeping everybody mentally sane right now is no official government has really fallen.
Yeah.
You let a major city like Portland, or what I think a state government fall. Like, you let Antifa go into Eugene, Oregon, and take down a state government.
Forget Chaz. It's the independent state of Oregon.
Yeah. Because Chaz has not gone away. Like, the news quit covering it, but Chaz has not gone away.
Yeah.
It's still an autonomous zone. They're still setting, like, they tried 3 days in a row last week to set fire to City Hall in Portland. Yeah. I know people up there.
Yeah.
Like, this is not one of those, I read this in some tinfoil. No, there's video of it. I know people who are currently leaving the state of Washington and selling very, very nice pieces of property to get the hell out.
Yeah.
Because even they'll tell you, and they were ready for this. They knew what was coming. They were ready, and they're like, I don't have enough room. I don't have enough food. I don't have enough ammo. I don't have enough anything. The funny part about it is we've already split as a country. We just don't want to make it official yet.
Is this like,
we're the epitome of we're staying together for the kids?
No, so we don't even have a decree of separation at this point.
No. We're staying together for the kids. And 9.9 times out of 10, staying together for the kids does what? Hurts the kids.
Yeah.
So we're walking into the world of the unknown, and it's 2020, and I hope and I pray that the world figures itself out, because I want my kids to live in peace. Capitalism without morality leads to despotism, and forced socialism will always lead to bankruptcy. There's either, and I'm not just talking about financial bankruptcies, forced socialism, involuntary kindness will always lead to moral and ethical and financial bankruptcy. Because if you're forced to give, you automatically, as a human being, willingly will do the opposite. Involuntary charity leads to bankruptcy, and capitalism without morality leads to despotism. Problem is, you have two different sides, and they both want opposite ways of government, opposite ways of life, opposite ways of everything. And it's time we just realize we're not on the same page. The honeymoon's over, and before you try and pull an 1861 in a world of AR-15s and AK-47s and SKSs and Abrams tanks and Bradley APCs, and before we get into this world, let's just stop, take it back, and decide we need to go to two different bars. And with that, my monologue about the divorce of this country and the need for one is over. Social media, go.
I'm on the Twitter at the Lucas Cohen.
I'm on everything else. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Rumble, Parler,
What is that?
MeWe. It's something else I signed up for, and I don't remember.
Rumble?
Yeah. It's alternative to YouTube, so I'm probably just about to, I guarantee I just got banned off YouTube.
Sounds violent.
There's no filters.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I'm on everything else, and the podcast is still being censored, so we're still working on it. But this podcast should be available on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Overcast, and any other place you would regularly find your podcasts. Say your tagline.
What is it now? I don't have one. Just
You're not gonna steal mine.
no. You keep yours. It's like law school. Just you're gonna have to come back to me later.
Even now, more than ever, fall for nothing. Fall for nothing. Even this election, just fall for nothing. And in all honesty, the middle no longer matters. Be prepared for anything. Because questioning anything to this point is futile. So fall for nothing, question everything, and be prepared for anything. So Valhalla, guys. Bye.